Shane McGraw, how are you, buddy?
What's up, man?
Hey, let me ask you this. What do you,
What do I do? Man, I'm a doer. I do lots
you
of
are a
things.
doer.
I do lots of things.
You're a loan officer.
Yep. That's my day job,
You're,
20 years.
you're a developer.
Learning how to be one now. Yeah. I buy broken houses and fix them and sell them on a regular. And then I recently bought a large piece of land that had 4 broken houses on them that were non-conforming. And I'm doing putting some lines in it and turning into 4 lots. And then I'm going to develop one of them, a big one.
Yeah.
But, uh,
So you're
yeah.
diversifying within the real estate. Yeah. You're diversifying within the real estate space.
Yeah.
I like that. You're also a husband and a father.
Yeah. That's my best job, my favorite job.
Yeah. How do you keep it all together?
You know, if I'm being totally honest with you, every day I wake up and I pray a lot and I look for the best. I try to make the next best decision I can. And I try to focus on all the things I'm grateful for. And then I try to prioritize what needs to be done today and what I want to get done today. And I break it down into like kind of 3 parts into a day and I do my best in each of those parts. And that's how I get it done. Sometimes
So,
I get it all done and sometimes I don't. I have virtual professionals and I have team members and I have lots of people around me that support me, and most of the time I'm the bottleneck in the system, but that's okay.
that's all right. I can be the bottleneck too. What are the 3 parts?
Well, I like to do like a miracle morning a pseudo miracle morning. I've been a little soft on it lately, but for the most part, I try to wake up as early as I'm able and in a sustainable way. I try
Okay.
to spend quality time by myself and with God and just with my dogs and some coffee and the sunrise and that kind of thing, and just kind of
Yeah.
get myself centered and I try to do a lot of repenting in the morning and then reflection and recommitting to doing better. I don't
Yeah.
know, being better. And I think that's become really invited. Really, I came from a tough upbringing, so I'm constantly wrestling with different mental weaknesses in my mind, and I gotta unearth them. I
Yeah.
gotta call them by name, and then I gotta surrender them over and try to have less of that in my life.
I like that, but I listen to podcasts from top producers. I read
Yep.
books, and the one thing that I have found that has been consistent is a morning routine. A routine. It doesn't have to be somebody else's. It can be your own, but there are 2 aspects to it. One is an aspect of reflection. So you
Mm-hmm.
look back. Hey, I've made mistakes. Have I changed? Another is an aspect of gratitude. And I think that it's the aspect of gratitude that puts us in a positive space of, hey, the future is going to be better than the past. And we all have stories. And in some of those stories, we're the hero and some were the villain.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're more the hero than the villain. And a lot of those things happened to us, brought us here. So one aspect of the 3 things is that morning routine.
Yep, the morning
What's
routine, mine has a lot of learning, has early morning family time, kids to school, chase after the wife, try to make her smile and a
yeah.
lot to her into her day in the same way with some good positivity and some confidence. And then I get to the office, I settle in, and then about from 9 to noon, that's my second section. That's when I focus on being really clear about growing my business and being very focused around my next best 20 calls and setting my appointments for the week and kind of
Yeah.
getting everything organized. And I think we'll talk more about that. And then the second section is my people section. I just try to love on as many people as I can. And that's from my personal life, having 20 kids at my house all the time and going to Costco 3 days a week and loving on them. It's all my business meetings. It's all my partnership meetings. It's my team meetings. It's getting out and getting about and seeing people, going to offices and kind of just
Yeah.
trying to be what's funny in this business? If you had no talent, but lots of excitement and positive energy, you would get business. All you
I
got to
would
do is
agree.
just show up and be like, hey man, I'm having fun. And people would be like, man, I like that guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
You don't even have
exactly.
to have any substance behind it.
I
That's my
believe
focus.
I'm a big believer in energy and that
Yeah.
energy transfers. Yeah. So you bring it up. Okay. So you've got, you've got family, you time, then we work.
Yep.
And then what do we do after? What time do you quit?
I think between 5 and 6, depending on what the world's got for me and when my wife
Sure.
tells me to be home. Yep.
Smart.
Yep.
Smart. And then what does the evening time look like?
I'm a bum in the evening, man. I just find contentment with just being present with my people. I go to sleep at I'm in my bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock every night, and I'm passed out 10 minutes later. I just have a gift of going to sleep.
Yeah.
Lately, I have a gift of snoring while I sleep. My wife's really enjoying that. So I'm trying to work on, I've been doing, have you ever done those nose
Breathe right.
tape or mouth tape? I'm
I
on
haven't
day
done the
3
mouth.
and I do not like it, but I do find it to be, it's like a mental game, right? I'm trying to practice breathing through my nose, not my mouth. And I believe I can mentally overcome physical things. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to mentally get past this snoring thing that I've developed. When I
Huh.
hit like my REM sleep, I start snoring. I don't know why. I think a little
Huh.
bit has to do with my weight. I'm probably 7 or 8 pounds up, so some of that's probably it.
Cut out the cakes,
How
buddy.
I eat, probably.
A little more discipline on the workouts.
Yeah, I'm hiring a trainer. I just wrote that down when we were talking pre-show. I'm like, I've had a trainer many time, and I have a slip disc in my back,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
been causing me to like have to baby myself a little bit. But I could always do work. I just got to modify what I do. So I think if I hire a trainer and say, "Hey, I'm going to show up. We just got to do what I can do, but let's
Yeah.
do it."
Yeah.
I think that'll
That's
be
the big I will tell you the biggest game changer in my life has been seeking people that could help me in certain aspects
right.
and
I know that
and
about you.
and paying them to do their job, which is help me because my biggest weakness is discipline. In all honesty, it's I know I should be working out 4 to 5 times a week, but boy, it's a lot easier to just not go to the gym. But so I hire somebody, we put it on the calendar. Now I've got the obligation. I show up. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm a
big.
big fan of the Bible, and there's a lot of wisdom in there. There's kind of like 3 main themes that I think always resonate in it. One of them is have no fear, says it
Yes.
literally 365 times. So it's like one per day.
One per
And
day.
then it says that throughout every religion known to man, if you do the research, they all say, do not be afraid, do not be afraid, do not be afraid. It's a clear condition that we all wrestle with. The second one is to seek wisdom. And wisdom comes from all kinds of things, and we get it from other people through fellowship
Yeah.
and discipleship. We get it through experiences. We get it through, having eyes that. You ever heard of the reticular activator?
Mhm.
It's like this thing in your mind when something becomes relevant to you, oftentimes based on security or safety, something of that nature. Then you see it in the marketplace. You see it when you're driving around. That
Right.
same thing applies to wisdom. If you're seeking after wisdom, you will find it. And it says,
Correct.
seek and you will find, knock and you will, be invited in kind of thing.
The door
And
will
then the
be open
last
to
one
you.
says to seek after discipline, discipleship, consistency. Like that's like a major part of the Bible is discipleship, discipline, consistency. So I think all of us struggle with all 3 of those. It's just figuring out how to, put them in our life and make them a focus of strength instead of weakness.
Right. Right. Well, the best part is being more disciplined leads to a simpler life, and
Mhm.
a simpler life takes away fear and provides comfort. So I know too many people, especially in your industry, which is mortgage loan origination, and my
Yeah.
industry, which is real estate sales, that live this life of roller coaster. They focus on the basics, they do the work, they get busy, they get trapped in the work, they forget to do the things that got them there. So that's a lack of discipline. Then they have great income peaks. Then they have income losses. They tend to spend when they feel like they have money. And then all of a sudden they go into being conservative when it comes down. And when they have money and they feel invincible, they tend to let the disciplines on the other things go away too. So that's when they make bad decisions. That's when they get the DUIs.
Yep.
But if you could just go back to discipline and then seeking wisdom, those will alleviate the fear. And fear is far and away the thing that keeps people from becoming the best version of themselves.
It's
Ironic,
my number
isn't it?
one problem. It's my number one thing. Mine's like an imposter slash fear thing, right? I never quite feel
Totally.
good enough for the shoes that I'm wearing, or like
Yeah.
oftentimes in my marriage, I'm like, I don't deserve this
You
gal.
don't feel worthy.
Right.
And if your mind tells you that you don't feel worthy, then you don't feel worthy.
Yeah.
So it's a catch 22. I believe that self talk is the most important thing people can work on. And that is your mind interprets things one of 2 ways, either as scary or bad, or positive and hopeful. So fear and hope run against each other. People are twice as likely to act from fear than they are from hope. So this is why people sell stocks when they go down, because they're afraid they're going to go down more. When if that self-talk
I can
was
see that.
you buy when the market goes down so that when it corrects, you're in a better position. So that's hope. And I tell people Whatever comes into your mind can go on either side. It's your choice. You get to make that choice. Nobody else gets to make it. You use outside influences, consumer sentiment, fear in the marketplace, high interest rates, things like that. You use that to frame your narrative to make you feel better. It's all crap. It's all
Yeah.
crap. You have the ability to say, just like you have the ability to say that every morning to yourself, I have a wonderful wife. I have great kids. I love the fact that kids are coming over to your house as the house should tell you everything. That should be enough social proof for you to go, oh yeah, okay, I'm a pretty cool guy. I got a great family. And it's because you have to recognize that the work that you did is paying dividends. These are the dividends. I've worked for it. I deserve it. And the more the mindset is like that, you realize that the reticular activator that you talked about is programmed by these thoughts.
Yeah.
So if you said, hey, I want to buy a car, I would go, what kind of car? And you'd say, I was thinking a Jeep. What color? As soon as I say what color, you will now notice every Jeep because your mind is saying, I need to figure out a color. So if you can program the mind to say, I need to get these things done on a daily basis. I've got to take great care of my wife. I got to take great care of the kids. I've got to make sure that the devil doesn't get to me. So I got to have my boundaries up. I've got to surround myself with good people. We're going to do the things. We're going to do the work. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to do the work and we're going to get the results. I'm going to be more fit mentally, physically, and all that. I specifically wanted you on here to talk about one thing because you created a program that has had a tremendous effect on my team. My team has been extremely productive. We are now in the 25th of July. So my market in Reno is full of fear. Interest rates are still high. The whole marry the house and date the rate thing just kind of went by the wayside. All of the agents that were saying mortgage rates are going to be 4.5% in 3 months, they're freaking out right now.
Right.
There's a tremendous amount. I haven't seen this much fear since probably the fourth quarter of 2007. Me saying that should instill fear. And yet my team is producing at a level that is unseen to where I can't even really say it to other people in the industry because they don't understand or they don't relate, especially in my marketplace. But I believe that the key to that has been they started your program in December of 2024,
Yeah.
and they had a phenomenal first quarter. They had a phenomenal second quarter. They're having a great third quarter. And yet the talk amongst people in my industry, when I see them on the street is, oh, I didn't think it was going to get this bad. And I have to go, it's okay. Market downturn, pull back. Here are the reasons. We're exactly in this place where there's so much fear. I think it's a good time to find some good opportunities to make some moves. So,
Mhm.
so my conversations with my clients are totally different from everyone else's, but you've got a 90-day sprint that encompasses what I think are the basics of a good, solid, referred, excellent experience. I think you've taken all of the things that a real estate agent should do on a daily basis, but some don't know they need to do it. Some know they need to do it, but they just don't have time because they got so busy. And you've condensed it down to basically 90 minutes of focused work that is planting seeds for trees that will produce fruit for years to come continuously.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, would you share with anybody watching or listening, maybe the basics of it, how it helps people in their business? And this isn't just real estate or mortgage. This could be
Yeah.
applied to people that do insurance, any service-based business, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let me give you just a 3-minute backstory of so what we do is we call our system, our group is called the Cadre. Our system is called, it's all around impact. So those are the kind of frameworks. The Cadre it's a group of highly skilled people working together for a common mission or purpose. I like to say that as often as I can because I think it literally is the secret sauce of the marketplace. If you can get a group of people who can put down their logos and egos and they can come together and they can work towards their goals, both independently, right? Because
Right.
what Jim Rohn has is one of my favorite saying of always says, I'll take care of me for you. You take care of you for me. And I think there's something that happens when we take agency on our own account. What is it
Right.
that we're responsible for? And we hunker down into it. Well, one of the biggest struggles in that particular area is how do we win our day? Like what is the irreducible minimum? How do we focus? How do we create a practice that brings out our best skills and puts us in rooms and conversations with people that would acknowledge and understand our skills? And how do we find people that would value the reciprocation? How do we find people that would look for a long-term relationship? Like that particular framework, which is like how you really be successful in business is you got to like bring a lot of people along with you and join on. And
Right.
I think that's the number one thing in our industry is a lot of people think they're doing it alone. Just the other day, I went out to lunch with a gal in my market who's one of the top loan officers in the market. And I asked her, how does it feel being the top person in the market, but having hardly anybody around you to do it with? And she's like, I hate it. She's like, I wish we would figure out how to come back together because we're all fractionalized. Early on in my career, there was big mega offices that, had all the big producers on it and we all kind of had the symmetry or synergy. Now it's kind of spread out and everybody's independent little practices. And I think that that's been a byproduct of a market of COVID and we just kind of got
Right.
out of that relational chemistry that we deserve. So I think we're going to see some people getting back together and cadreing themselves and finding skilled people to do it with. But
Yeah.
kind of, it really brings me a lot of joy having you say, Shane, this thing has really helped my team because when I first started building the system, I built it literally for the team that I was building, that I was the weak link. We were just growing exponentially. I had like 6 or 8 branches on one side that was doing just a bunch of VA loans. I had another set of branches on my side doing a bunch of loans. And together there was like almost $1 billion of volume coming in. And I was kind of in charge, but I
Right.
didn't really know how to give vision or direction. So I started creating this one-page document that I had. It was kind of just a piece of paper. On one side, it was a set of things, and on the other side, it was a set of things. And my goal was to just print them and get them on everybody's desk and say, hey, for 90 minutes a day, just focus on winning these particular areas. Do it your way. Yep, that's it. And man, it was contagious. Everybody who touched it started like, you would see someone say, Shane, I want to do this much this quarter. And they would do it. And then people started coming to me and say, hey, will you show me how to do it? And I was like, it's just a piece of paper, just do it. But
Right.
what happened is it took people's genius and it put a proactive behaviors to it. It helped them put motion behind what they wanted to accomplish. And yeah, it's cool. There's probably been over 1,000 people that have done it now. And I would say anybody who works it gets the results that they're looking for. And most of them end up being stressed out at the end of the sprint because they have to hire, because they
Right.
have made so many promises that they got this business coming in and they're like, how do I keep this going? And they start kind of getting distracted with the business rather than the creation of the business. And so it's kind of a fun game.
Yeah. Well, it's like a 75 hard, but
Yes.
specifically for salespeople. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where you have distilled the daily things into a checklist and almost gamified it also. And then what we have done is we've taken our team and it has really helped with the team building. It has helped in, Cadre is used more or less in the military. So military guys get it, right? You
Yep.
have a role, you have a job, you do your job. And if I know that you're doing your job, I don't have to worry about that. I can do my job. And if
Oh,
we
so
all
much.
do our jobs, we all grow, we all win. And I don't think, and I've had teams for since 12. So this is my 13th year being a team leader. I don't know that I've ever had a team that was this tight, that was this supportive of each other. It used to be, hey, I got to buy her into contract over here. And then somebody else would say, oh, well, you got lucky on that one. But and now they want to help each other. They'll show for each other. They show up. I mean, it's a big game changer. It used to be when I would bring on a new team member or I would talk about needing to bring on a new team member, they got defensive. Oh, the team member is going to take our leads. Why are you bringing on somebody else? There's only enough food at the table. And now they're out looking for people that would be good additions to the team. They want more of them on here because they have learned the synergy that's created, the energy that they transfer amongst each other is sometimes the difference between them showing up at a really low frequency and a low level to them saying, hey, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Totally
So,
agree with that.
so what are a couple of the things that They do. And then I'm not going to have you lay out the whole program. We've got you've got another one starting. You do it every quarter.
Yep. Every quarter we start over. We rest, reflect, and recommit.
Yep. And then, so the fourth quarter, you'll have one that'll start, what's October?
I think it's September, October, November. No, you're right. October, November, December. Yep.
Man, you scared me for a
I
sec.
start getting my mind going in September for enrollment and all that stuff.
Well, yeah. And the fourth quarter is when people in our industries tend to take the foot off the gas and they start doing planning for the next year, which we still do,
Mhm.
but we also do the basics that generate the relationships, because that's what this is really about. This isn't about calling cold leads.
Right.
This is about generating a referral. This is working a referral based business. This is having connection and having relationships with people that you support that also want to support you.
Yeah, so ours, it's three basic goals with a bunch of ancillary pieces that bolt it all together and to make it work. The three main non-negotiable pieces of your 90 minutes a day that you're sprinting towards your goals is 20 proactive, intentional phone calls. I believe if you carve it out and you literally, this is a full proactive time, it's no reaction. Your phone is on D&D. No one can call you. You're calling others. You make a ton of promises. You make a ton of commitments. You leave a ton of voicemail. You're writing a lot of notes, to-dos, follow-ups, and so on, because you're making these proactive 20 calls. And the idea is once you do this for a season, this is the secret sauce of it all. And every single quarter, I spend like a couple weeks trying to explain to people that it starts out with, who in the heck am I going to call today? And then it ends up with, oh my gosh, how am I going to call these people? Because
Yeah.
you do this in such a way where you make the next best call you can, the next best call you can, and they start to stack on each other. And then someone calls you back, and then a new task comes, and then you got to follow up. And before you know it, it's not about who am I going to call today. It's like, who are the next best calls? You start trying to figure out like, well, I've put this one over here because this is not the highest dollar producing activity for me. And this becomes just that one exercise alone will change your business
Yeah.
because it's a focus towards a high productive activity. It's provide the most value to the most people in the least amount of time. So there's a
Mhm.
certain level of like framework. So that's the first piece. The second one
Yep.
is had 10 business meetings a week. I'm sorry, let me back up. 10 great
Right.
conversations. And those calls lead to the conversations lead to business meetings. And those are the 3-part framework. Seems so simple. We all heard it before. Nothing in my system is necessarily unique, but it's this idea of clearly focused time where every single day you win your day by noon using these 3 basic frameworks. So then from there, you can send handwritten cards. You learn how to have great conversations. You learn how to have proactive behaviors inside those conversations and those appointments. You learn how to
Mhm.
follow them up with a certain level of trust building as a series of small kept promises. So you learn how to make little promises along the way and keep them. And you learn
Yep.
how to delegate those promises being kept to your people and your systems and your processes. And before you know it, the sales business will grow exponentially because every day you're calling the next best 20 people, you're having 10 great conversations, and then you're having 3 great meetings. And that's the framework.
It's
And then there's
easy.
a bunch of stuff behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of check boxes. There's a bunch of places for notes. You set goals. Typically high producing individuals like goals. They like to see. I will tell you the biggest thing for me that was that you introduced was, at the end of the week, they get to rate what I think are the two most important things
Let's
on
go.
how someone shows up. And I don't know, I've heard people talk about it, but I want you to, I'll let you tell them what it is. But
Thank you.
these two things, if you're listening to this, these two things will change your business.
Yeah, a little bit of backstory. I was on the side of a soccer field. My son had been playing soccer for about 12 years. He was with the same group of kids. And if you never got a chance to be a soccer dad, it's the best job ever. And me and a handful of soccer dads would go every day to the practices and the games and traveling to all the road trips and stuff. And there was this one dad that was a military guy, and he was a chief in the Navy, high ranking guy, had like 380 something people following him. And he was kind of a bit of a he had a tough shell, if you will. Just he was a hardcore guy. But his son was the best player on the team, and his son that was 3 years younger than everybody else on the team was the second best player on the team. And these two kids dominated. I mean, dominated. And there was one thing I noticed about him is he would stand and he would pace, and the kids would go back and forth, and they'd look at him. He'd be like, "Attitude and effort, son." And I just loved it. I would always be like, I love that he's saying that. And one day I finally, and I said, what is this attitude and effort stuff? And he goes, in all my time of leadership, these are the irreducible minimums of what the two things that you have responsibility for, and they're only yours. So in my household, I'll look at my son and I'll say, hey, how's your attitude? And he knows that means like you can control your response to how your brother's treating you. You can control your response to what's going on. And he just went on this long tirade. This is the anchor of all of his leadership in his family and in his work.
Yeah.
I just thought, man, that's it. That's the thing. That's what I need to work on. That's what everybody needs to do. And they need to have a measure of what is your attitude and effort. So now all my kids, all the kids that live at my house and all the kids that would call me their stepdad, if you will, attitude and effort, they all know what that means when I look at them and say, hey, attitude and effort. They know you have to have an attitude that says, I can, I will, no matter what. You have to have an attitude that's gracious and generous. It's the measure of character,
Yes.
the measure of your buy-in, which is so wonderful. Like, isn't there no better practice in life than to become a better version of yourself every day, every moment, every experience? Like, that's it. Effort is a whole nother thing. Like, some people go to the gym and they get ripped. Some people go to the gym and they don't. What's the difference? They're going to the gym.
Right.
Certain people, they get more out of the gym. They show up and they get more from the gym because they give more to the gym. There's more of a commitment. Their body looks more refined because they're more intentional about what they're doing. They're more process driven. They're more work driven. They have a level of output that exceeds a standard level. They're getting to a point of burning in their body and muscle tearing and rebuilding. Like, there's a certain amount of effort that's put in, and that effort, I think I grew up pretty on the wrong side of the tracks and had a lot of pain in my life. And I learned that you can overcome almost all that stuff with just some good quality effort, just effort.
Yes.
And I think effort can solve a business. It can fix a business. It can take a business that's off the track and put it on the track. It can take a business that is doing well and make it exponentially better. I find in my system, by the end of the sprint, the people who put the most effort in get the most results.
Yes.
And then if we can get their
Weird.
attitude aligned with it, boy, it's a rocket ship, man. I had this one guy, he was out of Colorado, nicest guy you'll ever meet. And he just was an idea guy, all kinds of ideas. He was successful, but a lot of ideas. And I just kept saying to him, you just need to have more effort. Your attitude is wonderful. You just need more
Yeah.
effort. It's directed and clear. He went from $280,000 to 1.1 million in 1 year by just focusing his effort. That was it. All he did is focus his effort. I would ask him, what are you doing? He's like, man, I'm just trying to get more out of this day. I'm trying to be more succinct. I'm just saying no to the stuff I shouldn't do and yes to the stuff that I should do.
Yeah.
And I watched his business explode. And the only thing that changed was his effort.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the 10X lies, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly it. Is if you're going to show up and you're going to be doing it anyway, why not get as much juice out of the orange as you possibly can? Just squeeze the crap out of it. So
There's
let me ask you this regarding attitude. What's one thing that somebody could do to change their attitude today?
Let's see. Change your attitude.
Gratitude, buddy.
Well, I was going to say gratitude, but it felt like it didn't have enough depth. But yeah, gratitude.
It's gratitude.
Yeah,
It has to be gratitude.
it
The
is.
fact that you're here today living life with opportunity ahead of you, you're given this moment right now. How in the world can you not be grateful?
Well, it's easy. The world has lots of opportunity to celebrate because there's the other side of it too, right? So
I know.
one of my favorite phrases about gratitude is you can't be sad while grateful. You can't be
Yeah.
mad while grateful. You can't be disappointed or insecure while grateful. Grateful does kind of push away all the other things that could be, so if it's anything, it's the opposite of the bad.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
And so one thing that somebody could do right now, this minute, if their attitude was a little off, for me, is smile. It is so hard for me to be in a bad mood, to be angry, to deal with the negativity when I got a big grin on my face.
Yeah.
What
I can
what's one thing that somebody could do to change their effort?
Well, one of our key phrases is win the day by noon. And I think if you just get really clear about what a win looks like, and my opinion in business, have 10 wonderful conversations and set 3 great appointments, that's an effort that is succinct. And then everything else inside of your, who you're going to call, what you're going to say, how you're going
Yeah.
to say it, what you're offering, all that stuff has to follow that. So if you just had if my effort said to me, today before noon, I'm going to have 10 great conversations with great people, and I'm going to set 3 3 business meetings with them, I think those 2 benchmarks would kind of be the catalyst for all the other things inside of your day because it keeps it very clear about what a win looks like.
Yeah.
And when you do that, compound that over a couple of weeks, your business will, grow for sure.
Sure, sure. And you're doing it right off the bat. So you're starting the day with it. And you teach people who you're going to call out, what you're going to say, what you talk about, like all of this. So if people go, oh, 20 phone calls, I can't make 20 phone calls. Yes, you can. Number one. Number two, if you need help with it, it's there. It's within the Cadre. It's in
Yep.
the 90-day sprint. It all comes with it. If somebody wanted to join, you wanted more information, how do they get a hold of you?
And I don't really know. We have a
You got a website?
URL, but I
Let's
don't
do
know
that.
what it is.
Oh, that's not going to be helpful.
I think it is. I think it's cadreconcepts with an s.com, but I can get that answer. We most of our stuff goes out through an email link that drives you to a registration page. So I don't really know what the registration page is. But every sprint we do it. Sorry, I should do better. I have QR codes, bro. I just said QR codes to people. I don't even know.
Ugh.
But
Eric,
the sprint starts every 3 months.
Eric, can you put a QR code attached to this talk to find it?
I was going to
Okay.
say search it.
All right. So somebody wanted to get a hold of you. They wanted to join the next 90-day sprint. I don't care what industry they're in. They've got a team. What's the easiest way for them to find you?
Well, we're best designed for people that are part of a team and teams that want to synergetically win together. I think that's where we have the most results
Yeah.
because, everybody gets in a room, they all hold themselves accountable, they hold each other accountable, and they share their best practices every week. They go through their results of the week. That seems to be, where people get the most results is if they have a functioning team and they want to have congruency about sales and proactive behaviors. Those are the people that are best for us.
So if I'm a team leader and
Yeah.
my team is a sales team, how can I get a hold of you so that I can implement this on my team?
I'd say just call me directly. I need to have some conversations with great people every day. So 360-620-7119 is my cell number. That's how you get a
Easy.
hold of me.
Call
Yep.
or text. Do you have a website?
Yeah, cadreconcept.com.
cadreconcept.com. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time, brother. I mean, thanks for our relationship. And we could do this for a few hours as to what you have, the systems, the structure. But the fact that your program has helped my team so much and changed their financial future, not just mine, I really appreciate that. So
Well,
have
our
a great day.
friendship, one of my favorite parts of this last season. I very much love you, buddy. I'm honored
Love
to
you,
do
brother.
this with you.
No, no. Well, you go be great today. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.